Alright guys, it's Justin again with another work in progress. This is going to be the first work in progress video for the Perfect Grade Ground Gundam conversion kit. It is a 1 to 60 scale. If anybody is unfamiliar with perfect grades, I don't imagine that too many people are, but on the off chance that you are, now you know. What this is a resin mold kit that goes over top of a majority of the frame for the Perfect Grade RX-78-2, and it basically covers up, well, it takes place of the outer armor and disguises the frame to make it look like it is the RX-79G ground type Gundam from the 8th MS team and I believe 0080. So the first thing I've done here, this isn't all my parts, but I've gone ahead and I've separated everything by limbs. So in this tote here, these are all the pieces for the legs, both legs. So we can go ahead and pop these off, and I'm sure you're already going, Justin, why are there Gunpla builder parts in here? I'm going to leave that a secret for now. It's not a big surprise, and it shouldn't be hard to figure out, but I'm going to leave it for you to figure out, or, you know, when it happens. So what I've done here is I've taken all the armor bits off of one of the legs, so you can see, like, this is the what is this? Huh. This is like the front piece of the foot, and it's you know, it's just stuck in there. So, but here's the replacement piece. You can see it's got a pretty nice mold on it. Lots of detail on the bottom. Top's not too detailed, but there's panel lines up here. Some rivets and stuff like that. So really nice mold. Here's the top pieces to the leg. I believe this is the front. Yeah, this is the front, this is the back. And this pegs into the tops of the leg right here, and you sandwich these two pieces together and they fit together just fine. I have to do a little bit more cleanup on this just to make sure that this is nice and even. But I'm still in the test fitting stages. I'm test fitting this on my existing RX-78-2 Perfect Grade. This isn't going to be the one that I'm using to build it. I'm actually going to build a whole new one and use that as the base for the conversion. Here's another piece of the foot. This is the heel. Again, details galore. Here's the front of the foot. You know, there's panel lines all over the place, more rivets. Now this one hasn't been cleaned up yet, so you can see there's a little bit of excess that hangs off here, and what you have to do is get like your cutters or a knife or something like that. You cut these down and you sand these pieces down and smooth them out, and you make sure that everything just fits properly. And then I test fit it to the piece, and then I sand it down some more and just make sure everything's nice and smooth, basically as smooth as it can be. And you know, when I'm comfortable and when I'm happy with what I've done, I'm going to soak these parts in purple powder and they will be ready for paint. At that point I will go ahead and that's when I'll also soak the parts for the frame, and I'll get everything ready for paint, and I'll start masking and painting and hating everything. But I'm sure that it's going to be an awesome process once I actually get things started. So let's go ahead and close that up. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the this is the base leg for the RX-78-2. It's got like a little shock in it. Really cool gimmick. Lots of like opening hatches all over the place, so you can see all the inner workings of the leg. Ooh, both of those came off. But yeah, they show off all the internal detail on the leg. And some of these poly caps are kind of tight, so they do what they want. But if you play with them and you get them to pop out how they're supposed to, you can show off a lot of detail just, you know, just looking at the pieces here. So really cool stuff. Now you're gonna take a majority of this stuff off, so like all this outer armor here, all the white pieces here is all gone. You're going to pop these caps off, you're going to pop the knee off, you're going to pop off, actually this whole thing right here, gone. And then you're going to take off this entire knee casing as well. There's a separate one for that that's smaller and doesn't have these pieces that protrude from the sides, and that's specifically for the conversion. And after everything's cleaned and you know, ready for fitting, it's going to look a little bit more like this. This isn't a perfect fit yet. I still have to clean up some parts, and I still have to do a little bit here and there. But for the most part, it fits the way it should. There's not too much fixing that needs to be done, which is great. The cast of this is really nice. You know, there's a little bit of a gap here, but I'm sure that I can sand the inside of this or the frame itself down just a little bit and get that gap to close, and that won't be an issue anymore. I'm going to have to dip this in boiling water and get it to separate from this, because these parts are going to rub, and that's going to rub all my paint off this knee joint, so I don't want that. But you can see that even with this conversion, you still get all that internal detail. So the pistons here, the pistons down here, all this is still intact, and it looks really good. In my opinion, the mold is much better. It's not as curved, but I think that's the design of the Ground Gundam anyway. Is it's a blockier type suit, and it looks more a little bit more menacing, I think, if it's not as curvy. But you still maintain most of the gimmicks. These still function how they should, the moving leg joints or whatever, so you can still get the moving armor panels and stuff. But the way that like this is designed, I don't think that it would technically work on this side, but this side it wouldn't be an issue. So I mean, that technically would still pop off like it should, but I am probably just going to glue everything into place so it just stays. I'm still going to be detailing the frame, so I'll definitely be taking pictures and stuff of it as I do it. Another thing is the foot is not attached, because you actually have to snip pieces off of the bottom of the foot, in order to get the foot to fit properly. So again, I'm not using this actual kit as my base. I'm just test fitting and making sure that the parts are clean and they look good how they are. There's a little piece that I missed right here. That's gonna have to get cleaned up. But you know, that's what the whole point of this process is. And then, like I said, once everything's said and done, it'll be ready for wash, and then I can go ahead and start painting. I think, for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to clean all the parts first, like get all the flash off and sand them down and get everything nice and smooth and test fitted before I start painting, and then I'm just going to paint it by limb. It's probably a little bit of a headache to do it that way as far as painting monotony, I guess. I'm going to be painting one leg and then putting it together, and then painting another leg and then putting it together, and then the waist, and I'm just going to build up from there. But I think it will also save me a little bit of headache. I think that the build will go it'll go smoother, and I think my end result will be a lot better because I took my time and I built it from the ground up, essentially. Yeah, that's all I got for this. I'm trying to keep this part a little bit short. I will be recording a second part to this. I'm going to do an unboxing on the Perfect Grade once that gets here, because I don't believe I have a Perfect Grade unboxing. I think my first video was actually just showing off the hand and how the hand worked. So I'm actually going to do an unboxing for the Perfect Grade, and you guys can see everything that's inside. Even though there's a million unboxings already, you know, something for you guys to look at. So I'll see you guys in a second. Alright guys, I lied. I'm not going to do the unboxing. I didn't feel like waiting. I still haven't gotten shipping confirmation for it yet, so it'll probably be at least another week before it shows up. So I decided instead I'm going to show you the way that I've been cleaning this resin, which is probably wrong, but whatever. You guys can yell at me in the comments below and tell me how wrong I am and what I'm doing wrong and all that good stuff. But I'm going to keep doing it this way until this project's over at least. And yeah, so this piece has not been cleaned at all. You can still see the flash on it. These pieces have been cleaned a little bit, but not completely. And in front of me I've got some tools and stuff that you're going to need, well, that I'm going to use anyway, to do this little bit that's left. So obviously you're gonna need a mask because resin is very hazardous to your lungs, and nobody wants to breathe that in. I've also got a dish which I'm going to go ahead and put some water in right now, and there we go. That was really close. Some sandpaper that I've cut. I have a panel scriber. I also have this scriber. I have a knife. I have a sanding stick, which I'm not really going to use too much, but you'll see. So I'm going to put this mask on, and hopefully you guys will be able to hear me, because I mean it's like a felt mask, so not a big deal. But wet sanding kind of cuts down on how much or how many particles gets in the air, from what I understand. So we're going to go ahead and start with these, because these have been cleaned. This piece is fine for the most part. I have to level all this out still a little bit. But this one, there's a very small panel line that there was like a bubble or something they got into that I have to scribe. So I'm going to take this label tape that Jim sent me. I'm going to cut a small piece of that. Where are my scissors? Whatever. Let's just go ahead and... Okay. And I'm going to line this up right here, so it's up against this panel line. Okay. And I'm going to take my handy dandy panel scriber, and I'm going to just get real close to this line. And there we go, we've got our panel line back. And it actually seems to have done it on the other side as well. I guess that's good enough. Let's run that through there. Make sure that's all nice and done up. And this one's got a really interesting piece on it, which I'll just go ahead and fix later, but for now I am going to go ahead and cut this down like that. Now, for trimming the resin, I just use my hobby cutters, and I cut kind of close to the piece. And I get as much of the excess off as I can without actually cutting into the part. And I shave it down a little bit with my knife, just like I would a regular piece. Okay. Now that's been trimmed down, I'll take my sandpaper, I dip it in this water. Should have got like a bigger tray or something for this, but whatever. And I'm going to use this to keep it flat, and I'm just going to sand it down. And then when I get it nice and flat, I'm done. And that's basically the way I've been doing it. I mean, this isn't done obviously, but you can see that it's started to smooth it out, so I just need to get the rest of it and it'll be good to go. And then I'll cut this little piece off and do the same thing. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this, and I guess this is where I'm gonna leave this video. It's probably already kind of long, so yeah, so there you go. I'll see you guys in a little while, or next video or something. Bye.